Welcome to the Yessy's Designs Knitting Podcast, episode 40. If this is the first time that you're here, my name is Yessy. I am the maker and the designer behind Yessy's Designs. I'm going to leave on the description below everywhere where you can find me on Instagram, my Yessy, my Ravelry website, and any other place that you can find me. I'm going to put that on the description below. If you have been here before, I am so glad that you're back. I record these episodes mostly in my studio here in Connecticut. Today, we are back to kind of a regular episode. The last two podcasts have been about our travels to Colombia this summer, where we went to Cartagena. You're going to see that on episode 38. On episode 39, I show you about my home city, which is Barranquilla, and when we went to Bello Horizonte in Santa Marta. If you have not seen those episodes, I recommend you take a look at them. It talks a lot about my background and the places that I grew up. I'm originally from Colombia, so every time I go with my family over there, I try to share with you some things that I think you might enjoy. Now, on these episodes, I share all the knitting that has happened since I showed you last, but on this episode, I'm going to talk mostly, I think that's the only thing I'm going to talk about today, about a new pattern release. Today, you're going to find on my website, Etsy and Ravelry, you're going to find a new pattern. It's the Rose Quilt Cowl. And it is a pattern that I started working on the spring. So I'm going to share with you here the yarns that I work with, the inspiration behind the pattern, some things, some details about the pattern. But at the end, I'm going to leave with you a video, and I hope that you enjoy it. So let's talk about the Rose Quilt Cowl. It's a kind of a mouthful for me, and so I'm hoping that I can say it smoothly. Let me show it to you first. A few months ago, quite a few months ago, Malabrigo reached out to me in an email and asked me if I would like to work with one of the new yarns that they are going to be releasing this year. I saw the pictures of the yarn. It was an immediate yes. It's such a beautiful yarn. So they sent me all the colorways. I picked, I'm going to show you the one that I picked. I picked up this colorway. So I'm going to read to you as you see it here. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. How can I say no to that? It's called Torsal. And at this moment, you should have it in your local yarn store. It should be there. This is color number 276 Medusa. This is a sport weight yarn, approximately 160 yards, 146 meters, 50 grams. And this is 100% superwash wool. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn to work with. So they sent me a few skeins, and I already had a design in mind. But when I saw the color of this yarn, and I know that because there are a few colors on the yarn, maybe you cannot see the pattern that well. So I'm going to show you, let me see. So I'm going to show you in a moment the other three samples that I work with. And in a couple of them, which is in solid colors, you're going to see a little bit better the pattern on this design. So it was amazing to work with this yarn. I started working with this yarn at home. And then we went to our trip to Montreal. So this is the project that I brought with me. So I worked on this sample when we took the train from New York all the way to Montreal. Beautiful, beautiful ride. I have another episode, a previous episode that shows you more about that trip, but I couldn't include the pictures or the videos about this sample. It was still a secret project at that time. So I worked on that over there. And then on the way back, I also worked on it. But it was so nice to work on this sample over there. So we have been in Montreal before, just my husband and I, first time that we take our children. And to have a project, a knitting project with this beautiful yarn, for example, in Old Montreal was really nice. So on my Instagram, which is at Jessy's Designs, I think I shared, maybe I don't remember if it's a post or a reel, but it's me in the old city knitting on it, and it was really really nice. So it's nice to experience your craft in different places. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the Rose Quilt Cowl. So I designed this pattern. I don't remember if it was at the end of the winter, beginning of spring. I think it was at the very end of winter. And it was still a time where winter was awful, as I have mentioned quite a few times. It was so awful. And my mojo left me for a little bit. It didn't last too long, thankfully. I don't think, from what I remember, that I have not felt like knitting, like really, because I just couldn't, didn't feel like it. So at that time, I discovered this channel, which is The Last Homely House, where Kate is the host. Occasionally, she has her daughter-in-law, Anna, who helps her with editing, and she also appears regularly in the podcast. I saw the first episode, that whatever episode came out, I don't remember if it was the last one that she had or a previous one, but I loved it right away. So Kate, in this podcast, she shared quite a few things. She has a podcast that is just for her garden. And in this podcast, which is the Homely House, she shares her adventures in quilting. I don't quilt. I hardly sew. I help making scrunchies and all of that, but I'm not an expert in sewing whatsoever. So I was surprised that I was so drawn into watching Kate's podcast, because I don't quilt, but I tell you, I loved it. It's the way Kate shows herself, the way she takes you through so many parts of the process in her quilting, how she chooses the fabric, the techniques that she works with. Her home is so cute, and you can tell that there is a very avid crafter that lives in there. She has a little another space that is by her pond. It is just quite beautiful. So I watched it, and it's one of those episodes in my experience. I mean, one of those podcasts in my experience that you really feel I have to watch it until the end. It's just beautiful. Sometimes she shares, what she's cooking, if she's traveling somewhere. But I mean, now looking back, I think is the enthusiasm that she has when she's talking about her quilting. So I think I saw something that at that moment I was missing quite a bit, and maybe that's what made it more appealing as well. But moving forward or going forward, I still watch her episodes. I'm trying to catch up to the 8 years that I think it's 8 years, a little bit more than that she has been recording her podcast, and they are amazing. I love it. I feel the same way. I start watching it and I have to finish the episode. It's quite beautiful. I'm gonna share her channel on the description below. So at that moment, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I think I think it's to see all these quilts, all these quilts, all these quilts. What made me want to have like a knitted, like a quilted fabric on my knitting. So that's why in when I show you the solid color samples, you're gonna see better. But this fabric, like I wanna say the background of the design, it's a quilted fabric. So there are squares that are knits and another square that are pearls. That are pearls. And in the knit square, I added a lace rose design. So a couple of reasons why I added that rose is that one of the first things that we see blooming in our home after winter is our rose bush. When I found out, or when we found out that we were having a girl, when I was pregnant, my husband and I planted a rose bush with pink roses. So that bush is breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. And when I see the buds of those of that rose bush coming, it's like that spring already. And when it blooms, it's it leaves us in constant awe. Is that how you say it? In a constant state of awe? I don't know. We are like mesmerized by these roses. They are beautiful, really pretty. So when I see those roses, it's like, okay, now we're gonna enjoy the warm seasons, and in my blog post, which is already up on my website, I talk a little bit about that, and it's or in the pattern as well, on the description of the pattern at the beginning, and it's like a reminder that warmer months are coming, that we left the cold behind, kind of. I mean, the bitter, bitter cold. We have left it behind. So I wanted to add that design to this cowl as a reminder that brighter days are going to be coming. So that's the inspiration behind this cowl. So I'm going to share with you the other three samples that I worked on. And in the comments, let me know which one is your favorite. But I want to tell you, if you check out the colors for Torsal in Malabrigo, the colors are beautiful. There are many, many colors. So check out the other colors because they are beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to share with you another sample that I made. Let me show it to you first. Do you see the design better in a solid color? I think you do. This yarn is from Julie Asselin. So when we went to Montreal, I went to a Space Tricot, and they had a beautiful selection of yarns, of course. And I saw this one from Julie Asselin, and that sweet rose color really appealed to me. So let me see. Let me give you more details about this yarn. This is I feel so bad saying this because I know it's gonna sound so awful. I'm gonna show you the tag after I stumble over my words. Nomade BFL. This is 80% superwash blue face Leicester, 20% nylon. Gonna show you now the tag. And there you go. It was a very, very nice yarn to work with. I have worked with Julie's yarns for a while. I made a ranunculus sweater in one of her yarns. I love that sample of the ranunculus, short sleeved. And I made a sample of, now I forgot which one of my beanies it was, for a yarn store. So I used Julie's yarn for that. And all of the yarns that I have had in my hands on my needles from Julie, they are beautiful. Her colorways are great. The feel of the yarns, they are so pretty. I have met Julie a few times, and her husband. They are the most beautiful couple. She's super nice and so fun. So I also recommend that you give Julie's yarn a try. He's beautiful. I love this sample. So this sample, as you might notice, is longer than the original sample. So the sample on Malabrigo, that is the sample that I recommend in the yarn, in the knitting pattern. Obviously, if you have more yarn, you can make this cowl as long as you want. And it has, when I made it long, because I wanted to use all of her yarn, I think I left enough yarn just to make a square on my Cozy's memory blanket. I think I added that one already. But this yarn is really, really pretty. I love the length of it. And if you go now to my website, you're going to find that 2 samples of the Rose Quilt Cowl are available for you to purchase. I'm talking about the finished piece. It's gonna be the next two that I'm gonna show now. So I'm gonna keep for me these two, the one that I made with Malabrigo and the one that I made with Julie's yarn. I think the longer version is gonna be great for when it's really, really winter, when I'm indoors, maybe at a restaurant, the movie theater, someplace that is still not that warm. So I'm gonna be wearing that, and it's gonna give me the coziness that I need and the comfort that I need for the moment. Now, this other sample, I also got, the next two yarns I also got at the Space Tricot. They're beautiful colors that I just couldn't leave behind. So originally I wanted to get a yarn that would remind me of our trip to Canada, a yarn that I would also use to make a new sample. So I knew that I wanted a solid color. That's what I chose, Julie's yarn. And the next two colors I just couldn't leave behind. It felt if well, you're gonna see when I show you, the two colors are so pretty and vibrant that I just had to have them on the needles. So look at this one. And now look at this one. I hope you can see what I couldn't leave those two colors behind. I apologize for the sun. It's super early in the morning. I'm getting ready to go out, so I needed to record right now and try to have this episode ready because the pattern is already out. So these two yarns are from the same company. They are from Bar at Tricot. Here is the tag. And I use the colors Snowy River and Dragonfruit Lemonade. These are beautiful yarns, as you can see. So I work on these two samples when we got home, and I loved it. I loved working on it. So let me show you now the fourth sample so you can have a last look up close, and then you tell me which one is your favorite. You let me know in the comments. So it's very engaging to work on this pattern. You have knits, pearls, you have lace techniques that I include in there. And the result is beautiful. You can make it as long as short as you want. If you want to make it with less repetitions and turn it into a tube scarf, anything you want to do with it. I really enjoyed working on this pattern. I think I got my mojo back very soon after I started working on it, and I haven't had a period of I don't want to knit again this year. So I hope that you enjoy it. You're gonna find it again on my website, on my Etsy Ravelry. You're gonna find two samples, the ones that I knit with Barra Tricot. You're gonna find those on my website if you would like to purchase a finished cowl and one of those two colors appeal to you. So I leave everything for you in there. This is my newest pattern. I believe the next pattern release is going to be October, so I'm working on that one right now, and I hope that you like it as well. But in the meantime, enjoy working on this new piece. I really love working on it. I made some new yarn to work with a new sample. I got the yarn thinking that I'm gonna make a new one, With all the deadlines, I am trying to make it work, but I'm not gonna show you the yarn until I get to it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful yarn as well. So I hope that you're having a great day. I thank you for being here. Take a look at that pattern. Let me know what you think, and I'm gonna see you at the end after you watch the video that I'm gonna put here. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, like, subscribe if you haven't, leave me a comment. And this is gonna keep helping my channel grow. I will see you at a future episode on episode 41. In the meantime, happy knitting and happy making.